Disneyland reopens after being closed for more than a year. That's a CNN business story. Disneyland. But many healthy safety protocols will continue to be enforced. The capacity of the theme park in Anaheim, California will be significantly limited to comply with California's health safety requirement and promote social distancing. I think the number is 25% capacity. In addition, until further clarification from the state of California, only California residents are allowed to visit the Disneyland Resort theme park. So if you're out of state, like we could not go to Disneyland in the state of California, in groups no larger than 3 per household. 3. I mean, what if you got 2 kids?
They'll turn you around.
You have 3 kids.
Single mother with 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
You gotta pick your
we don't want
favorite
married
kid to
couples
go.
coming here. Additional
Unbelievable.
health safety measures include requirements, face coverings for all guests 2 years old and older, 2-year-old, temperature screenings for all guests entering the park, cashless transactions, and capacity limitations at attractions. Disneyland's union have pushed California Governor Newsom to reopen the park. Earlier this year, a group of California State Assembly members also proposed a bill aimed at speeding the reopening of Disneyland and other large theme parks in the state. So I'll go to you first, Major Williams. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's been overextended in regards to the lockdowns, and I don't know. I mean, look at the dynamics. How they're limiting and creating this fear and just this hesitation that's happening. I think it's bad culturally. I think it's bad psychologically. And I just don't get like the rationale, the common sense aspect of it. I think it's once more, it's not even an overreach, right? It's not like an overreach. It's just like silliness at the end of the day. So there's no elaboration on it. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. If you were governor, what would you do in this instance? What would your Disneyland policy be?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the reach of a governor when it comes to Disneyland.
Well, you got security. You can get on any ride you want right away. There's no lines, man, when you're governor.
Wow, you got the real speed pass.
Only with 2 people.
The ultimate
though.
speed pass.
Relax.
I don't know. Like I said,
That's something you wouldn't delve into, is what you're saying?
I mean, I believe that from a statewide perspective in policy, it would be very transparent in regards to where I stand when it comes to that. But I think it'd be a little bit harder legally and legislation-wise when it comes to some company like Disneyland.
One of the good things is, I don't know if you saw this, but when you enter Disneyland now, the Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs are offering you free COVID vaccines. I mean, they're in there. They're working hard. It's amazing. They're keeping them busy.
Are you going to take your kids to Disneyland?
I'm not going to do it now because it's way too much.
No, wait a minute.
Hassle.
That was a joke?
Yeah, that was a joke.
Okay.
My bad. I
never really did stand up. You gotta,
Tom has jokes. You have to be ready for it.
You don't know what you're getting.
You're going to see more of this from Newsom. Unfortunately, he's going to open up Disneyland more and more and declare it a win. Here's the one thing that scared me the most. I don't know if you guys heard this. Kamala Harris addressed the United Nations, and this kind of has something to do with Disneyland. But did you hear her say, "We got to get ready for the next pandemic"? I mean, did you hear her say that? I mean, I cannot believe that. And it also makes me think about all those businesses in Orange County, those small businesses, the hotels, all the vendors. Right. I mean, there are so many businesses that went under. And it is just so ruthless of what happened there. And you wonder, is he against them, or was this a strategy to shut down some small businesses? You will have people say that that's been part of his strategy as well, to literally take out some of the small businesses and make you dependent on it. But I think psychologically it's helpful that Disneyland is open. It's the happiest place on earth. Right. It should be open.
So you live there. Why you wouldn't take your family?
No.
I just want to understand
right now,
you as a resident.
It's way too complicated. I mean, all those restrictions and everything right now. I'm not going to wait online to get tickets. I mean, eventually when it opens up again,
you got to have a reservation. First of all, you can't just go. You can't even buy tickets.
The line is 8
going
minutes.
to a dinner. Can you imagine? You got to make a reservation. I'll do a party of 4, 6 o'clock Friday night.
Yeah.
Pathetic what they're doing over there.
Why don't we talk about what you did? You did a how-to board episode about what Disneyland versus Disney World. Give us a little insight into that.
Look, it's the exact same situation I gave you, where you have the Eastern Conference, Western Conference. You have the whole thing with California and the brackets. California and New York against Texas and Florida. DeSantis look, we're keeping Disney World open. Don't even sweat it. And Bob Iger, who was sitting on the board for Newsom, he was helping out Newsom on bringing back, the state of California. The moment Newsom announced that he's still keeping a shutdown, the next day, Bob Iger resigned. He said, "I'm not even doing this." And Bob Iger is a Democrat who thought about running for office when he wrote his book, the book that he wrote about his
Ride of a Lifetime.
Ride of a
We
Lifetime.
just read it.
Yeah. So here's a CEO. He's got 2. You got Disneyland, California, Disney World, Florida, He's a Democrat. He's sitting there saying, listen, as much as I'm a Democrat, and why are my Democrat friends keeping my place closed? And I lost 78,000 jobs, and over here they're keeping it open, and my guys over there have jobs. And small business owners around there, they're staying in business, but small business owners around Disneyland that rely on that traffic,
right,
they're going out of business.
Well, speaking of Bob Iger and bigwigs that are kind of in Newsom's camp, I think a lot of people in Silicon Valley just came out in support of Newsom.
Oh, yeah. No, they're all behind him.
What is
sure.
that story?
Yeah.
Why are they behind him? Why is big tech behind him? Why is Silicon Valley behind him? They're the ones saying that it's a Republican recall.
right.
Give us some insight.
I mean,
it's
in our best
there.
interest, though. So when it comes down to policy and legislation and regulations, he's always sided with them when it comes to that. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer for the tech industry. I don't know if it's like universally with the tech industry, but a big portion of the tech industry are going to be for the champion that's for them. And that's what's happening. I just want to talk about Disneyland once more in regards to the businesses that have been affected. The reason why Governor Gavin Newsom can make those unempathetic decisions is because he has never personally physically built a business. He's never had a dream or ideal that he's manifested and had that moment when he had that first sale or had that opening or whatever, like some of these small businesses that are suffering, right? So it's hard to kind of lead or make decisions based upon that. Like, you're kind of up here. And that's what uniquely makes me different, than everyone else, because I have been a part of that dream or that aspect of having that first creative ideal and seeing it manifest. So I know how to govern when it comes to that. And it shouldn't be one size fit all, which is where he really failed. And I say this wholeheartedly. Governor Gavin Newsom could have been deemed the best governor of California at the beginning of all this. But because of misguided decisions and his stances and being seen at French Laundry, he dropped the ball greatly. And I think essentially I exist because of him, and we're going to punish him for that in regards to getting him out.
No doubt you're right about what you just said. I mean, we talked about earlier that he won in a landslide.
Yeah.
And now he's getting recalled. So clearly his decision-making ability is questionable.
Let's talk about what happened with Snow White. So new scene from Disneyland Snow White ride is prompting backlash. Fox Business Story, just days after Disneyland has reopened with an update to its Snow White attraction, the move is already receiving backlash. According to Disney, Snow White's enchanted wish takes guests aboard a wooden mini cart as accompany the princess as she escapes the clutches of the evil queen. However, it's the true love's kiss grand finale between Snow White and her prince that has drawn scrutiny from San Francisco Gate. The new grand finale of Snow White's Enchanted Wish is the moment when the prince finds Snow White asleep under the evil queen's spell and gives her true love's kiss to release her from enchantment. The outlet writes, a kiss he gives to her without her consent while she's asleep, which cannot possibly be true love if only one person knows it's happening. Haven't we already agreed that the consent in early Disney movies is a major issue? That teaching kids that kissing when it hasn't been established if both parties are willing to engage is not okay, the San Francisco Gate said. Adam, I'm going to go to you first because I know you're with them. You agree with them. This is an insult. Tell us what you think about the story.
Well, is this a story from The Onion or is this a real story?
No, this is a real story from the Fox Business regarding what San Francisco Gate had to say about it.
All right. Well, I'm with the team, the Me Too movement people. I understand, there's some creepy dudes out there that, the Harvey Weinsteins of the world, the Cosbys of the world that have definitely created this. But let's I can't believe this is even a story. Let's talk about, all right, you're sleeping Snow White. You wake up. Tell me where you'd like to be, Mrs. White. You want to be in the castle with the prince? Or you want to be in a dwarf motel over there down the street with 7 random midgets that you're living with? I'm taking the prince, bro. So
random midgets.
It's not like she's living a life of luxury. Some prince shows up, sweeps her off her feet, brings her to the castle.
Little people.
No,
you make
I'm staying over here with these 7 little people in some sort of hostel. You want the castle or you want the hostel? Your pick, Snow White. The only thing is you need to be kissed while you're sleeping. So I'm going with the kiss.
How do you process it? Like, actually, how do you process it?
That's how I process it. I'm going with the prince.
Random midgets, man. That was
You're going.
That was drop the mic right there. You know, it's literally
You got sleepy and dopey and grumpy and humpy.
Humpy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you've got these mental
By the way,
midgets.
this is people don't think this is a real story. This is
It
a real
I didn't
story.
think it was a real story.
I mean, it's disturbing. This
is cancel culture at its finest.
You know, I think
you're canceling the prince.
Yeah.
Come on now. Next thing you know, you're going to cancel Prince Hakeem from coming to America. This can't happen.
No, that definitely
fired
cannot
up.
happen.
My only hope and my prayer is that there is a tipping point in this country where sanity prevails.
Right.
And I'm holding out hope that we will reach that threshold, because I think more people have common sense than don't. Now, there's going to be a market out there for people that are offended by this or thinks this is legit, and then let you take out your little microscopes and look at every piece of film that's ever been done in the history of mankind. And by the way, is there a company more woke than Disney? Now you're trying to cancel a Disney character? It's unbelievable. You can never satisfy these people. You will never satiate their appetite to destroy careers, to destroy history, pop culture, and that kind of thing. But we don't have to let them govern us. We don't have to take what they throw down our throat and say this is right. It's wrong. It's stupid. Just have some common sense and laugh at it.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.